Hi Libra. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It's snowing. I don't know if you guys can see that out there, but it's all white and beautiful and it's like a little winter wonderland. I'm loving it. So I thought I'd change the usual backdrop so that you guys could see that. Anyway, let's get on with your astrology. So this month for you, Libra, is about healing. It's about coming to conclusions and putting some ends towards some things. And it's about healing on a physical, emotional, spiritual level. And then we start to move into aspects to do with love. As we start this month out, Libra, we have a full moon in your 12th house. And this full moon, I really like the way it's aspected, okay? It touches on Saturn in your 4th house, and it also touches on an asteroid in your 8th house, okay? And so this is quite a deep, private, but yet at the same time very healing full moon. So it will be, in some ways it will be quite quiet, but it will be powerful. And Saturn trining this full moon is, you know, it's about getting real, and I feel like there's a sense of bringing certain things to conclusions, ending certain energetic patterns, and really wrapping up some very personal beliefs and pains and wounds connected to the past. So you start out this month with a kind of, I suppose, a quieter energy, but a powerful energy, in that it's about concluding things to do with patterns related to maybe childhood wounds, patterns related to unhealthy dynamics in relationships, patterns related to victimhood, those kinds of things. Now this could get brought about, this conclusion, this feeling of healing could very much be triggered by a feeling of disappointment or a feeling of loss or betrayal or victimhood, because Neptune actually opposes this full moon. And with Neptune, we tend to get these feelings of, especially Neptune is so watery, full moons, you know, this is water energy again. And so when you mix the two together, there can be a real sensitivity there. This highlights feelings of disappointment, feelings of like illusion, being let down and being victimized. So I feel like the healing that ends up coming about as a result of this full moon is instigated by some feeling of slight disappointment, some feeling of loss, some feeling of perhaps regret and remorse. So if you are feeling that, go with it. Don't worry about it too much. Understand that it's part of the process, and underneath this all there will be some sort of moment, some sort of deep emotional realization that will bring you to a place of healing and will allow you to be able to conclude and you know, really close the book on whatever it is that you're in the process of healing. I feel like this is real deep healing, because you know, the 4th, the 8th and the 12th are the most private houses. They're the deepest kind of houses that connect us to our past, to our childhood, to our patterns that are self-sabotaging, and intimacy, okay? So this is where this is going to play out, but I feel like there's some really lovely healing there for you. So yeah, this is very, you know, it's very sensitive time, so be aware of that with others as well, okay? Now, we have Jupiter going retrograde, and this is on the 8th, and he's going retrograde in your 2nd house. So when Jupiter goes retrograde, he becomes far more powerful, but he also requires that we do more work, that we go deeper, and that we look into things more. And if we work with this, then it can really, really benefit us in the long run. And he's retrograde until the 10th of July. So he's retrograde for quite some time in your area of resources, money, finances, self-esteem. So there's something here that needs reviewing. There's some things here that can be reworked. Perhaps it's time for you to look at your financial plan, and what you're doing, where you're investing your money. If you, I mean, there's a good opportunity, there's a good chance that someone could come along who could have a really great idea as to how you can increase your abundance, right? And they could offer you a lot of good financial advice, or maybe end up pairing up with you in order to start a business or something like that. But it will take a lot of work, and it requires you crossing your T's, dotting your I's, being thorough about it. And if you are thorough about it, when Jupiter goes direct, you can see great big blessings and a lot of gains because of the fact that you've really done your homework. At the same time, this also works on your self-esteem. It works on your sense of values. It works on, your how you feel about yourself. How do you value your resources? How do you value your time? What do you give your time to? Who do you give your energy to? Those kinds of things. So this can see you reviewing that, how I value myself, where I go to get my self-esteem topped up. Can I get it from myself, or do I have to get ego strokes from the world out there? And so this can see you shifting your perspective and looking deeper into core beliefs around self-esteem, around how I use my resources, where I invest them. You know, if you're investing time into people who, you know, don't give anything back, people who, or into projects that don't really do anything for you, or into hobbies, you know, that don't really, pardon me, sorry, do anything for you, then it's time to look at that, and it's time to become introspective and to get to know yourself deeper there. So Jupiter's asking you to go deeper, because Jupiter can be a superficial planet. We all love Jupiter, but he can be very superficial because he wants to do everything and he wants to cover as much ground as possible. You know, and he's about adventure. But what I like about Jupiter going retrograde is that for a moment that changes, and he's like, actually, let's get introspective and let's go deeper and let's shift our beliefs. And the lovely thing about it as well is that it's about higher knowledge. So you will have aha moments, and you'll gain higher wisdom through looking at these issues. Okay, so that happens on the 8th of the month. And so this is now when, you know, we're now back into planets being retrograde. We've had like 2 months and a week of no retrograde planets, and it's been lovely. But now it's time for us to start reviewing and just in some ways slowing down, you know? Okay, so on the 17th, we've got a new moon happening in Pisces in your 6th house. And part of that, like part of the theme this month for you is going to be about health, okay? And anyone who's been struggling with health conditions, I really see amazing potentiality for real healing here, because this new moon is touching on Jupiter. He's touching on Chiron and Pluto. So there is positive, optimistic, healing energy here. You know, Chiron is about healing. So I feel like anyone who's been struggling with any health problems, you could get finally the breakthrough you've been wanting. You could finally see yourself finding the right doctor, or finding the right homeopathic medicine, whatever it is, okay? And some of you will really be feeling renewed as a result of this new moon on a physical level. This also plays out as well in terms of your work and the people you work with, your superiors, your co-workers, right? So this can bring really lovely energy to your working environment, and see you being appreciated and also appreciating the people that you work with, feeling a lot of positive energy around that. And maybe if there's been any tension there, or if there have been any you know, kind of feeling of, oh, I don't know if I really matter at work, I think that you'll start to see that you do, and you'll start to appreciate the people around you, and they'll be appreciating you. And I think this is just really lovely energy for you. On the 20th is when the sun goes from that 6th house into your 7th house. So with all the planets, you know, are moving now into your 7th house, and it becomes a lot more about love and relating and about romance. Okay, so Mercury will be going retrograde this month, and he'll be going retrograde on the 23rd, okay, and that's in your 7th house. So he's retrograding in your opposite sign. So this brings matters of love, romance, one-to-one partnerships to the forefront. And so for those of you who are with somebody, you know, this could see you, I mean, it's well known that if you break up in a relation during Mercury retrograde, then chances are you're not going to stay broken up. There's just an adjustment that needs to be made. But this could see something going on with your partner where they're having to maybe go back over something, or they're questioning something. There's a feeling of, you know, you experiencing your partner in having a sense of review. And it could even be that you're reviewing your partner in a way and thinking, how do I feel about this relationship, and how do I feel about this person, and are we still a match, and that type of thing. What I would say with Mercury retrograde is just go easy with it. If you are coupled up, you know, when it plays out in your 7th house, there may be things that come up that you need to discuss, and that, you know, things that get brought to your attention. And this can really be a good time to iron out kinks and to communicate about things perhaps you had previously swept under the rug. For those of you who are single, Mercury retrograde, if you do meet somebody and if you are dating someone, just be, you know, have an understanding that you may not have the full picture of the person, okay, and there may be things that come to light after this period. So I think really the message is just kind of take it easy really with this. If you're single and you're not really interested in being with anyone, you know, I think this will still see you reviewing partnerships. It will still see you thinking about how partnerships have shaped you, how your previous relationships have shaped you, and what it is you desire and what it is you would like maybe out of the next one if you do want another relationship. So just be aware of the fact that you might not be seeing the full picture if you are dating, and if you're getting to know somebody, there may be things that come out after this period, and just take it easy and take it slow is what I would say, okay? Now, like I said, you know, the energy is shifting into that 7th house, so you are going to start learning about yourself through relating. You're going to be having experiences about your understandings about yourself. How can I put it? You're going to be having understandings about yourself as you relate to others, you know, because people are such amazing mirrors. Our relationships are the best place to go if we want to learn about ourselves. So this is where the learning starts to be for you, and this is where the focus goes to. And then on the 31st we have a full moon in your sign. So this is really interesting, isn't it? So you're looking at other people, you're looking at your relationships. Mercury is retrograding in your opposite sign, and then you have a full moon in your sign, which is like, okay, it's like a deeper understanding of myself. Full moons in our sign give us a deeper emotional knowledge and wisdom about ourselves, okay? So be aware that at the time of this full moon, okay, there will be some tension, because he's going to be squaring Saturn in Capricorn, which is in your 4th house, and opposing Mercury retrograde in your 7th house. So especially for those of you who are living with somebody, who are living with your partner, understand that there could be some tension there, and try not to act too quickly. Try not to, what I fear the most for you, I don't want to say fear, but one possibility, if you are in a partnership and you live with somebody, is that words get spoken out of anger or out of frustration that can't be taken back, okay? And that could have a potentially, you'd have to deal then with the repercussions of those words, right? So watch what you say, go easy. The thing that is missing, this is a T-square we have here, right? So and the point that is missing from this square is Cancer, right? Because Cancer opposes Capricorn. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the way forward is a little bit more gentleness. It's a bit more, it's being a bit more sensitive to our emotions and the emotions of others. My goodness, look at this. Oh, how exciting. Yeah, sorry about that. So it's about a bit more sensitivity. So rather than going off of that, on that kind of, rather than going off on that quick to react energy, try and be a bit more sensitive, try and be a bit more understanding, especially if you're in partnership, okay? Because this will be a time when there could well be some feelings of tension between you and your partner, but this energy ultimately is going to, in some ways, inspire and motivate you to either make the relationship better and to move it forward, or for it to go the other way, you know, which we'll get onto more so later on, well, next month, okay? So for those of you who are single as well, you know, this is about love, this is about romance, this is about my private life, this is, you know, but there's going to be I think there's going to be an understanding of what it is you need to feel secure in your life, and what it is that you expect from others, and as a result, what that means, what kind of person that means you are. I don't know if I make any sense when I say this. Do you know what I mean? But we learn who we are by what we value. We learn who we are by what is important to us. So I feel like on some level, Libra, this is what you're going to be exploring at the time of this full moon. Okay, so that was your astrology. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Now on to your tarot reading.